It's been more than 2 months. Not sure if I will see the locomotive again. Actually, I don't like to call miniature trains as toys, but that is how people call it generally. I call them model trains, and this video is about my model train story. Where did I get my first inspiration? I have been loving trains right from childhood days, and I always wanted to have my own railways. Thomas and Friends television series is where my dream for model trains started. I am pretty sure many rail fans have good memories watching the Thomas and Friends. When I was 15, I had no idea how to get it started. My initial idea was to have a railway in the garden. I kept researching on model trains for the next 13 years but did not get into the hobby due to price involved. Before moving ahead, here is the brief introduction to model trains. Model trains refer to miniature replicas of real trains that are built for the purpose of recreation, collecting, and hobbyist enjoyment. These scale models replicate trains and their surroundings in intricate detail, allowing enthusiasts to create realistic and operational miniature railway systems. The hobby of model trains has a rich history, dating back to the early 20th century when the first commercially available model trains were introduced. Model trains come in various scales, representing different proportions to the actual size of real trains. Common scales include HO, N, 1:160, O, 148, and G, among others. Model trains can be powered by electricity, steam, or diesel engines, depending on the desired level of realism and the preferences of the hobbyist. The hobby encompasses not only the trains themselves but also the detailed landscapes, buildings, and infrastructure that make up a complete model railroad layout. Enthusiasts often spend considerable time and effort on layout design, track planning, and scenery construction to create realistic and visually appealing dioramas. Model train shows and exhibitions provide opportunities for hobbyists to showcase their creations and share their passion with others. The hobby has evolved over the years, incorporating advancements in technology such as digital command control, DCC, which allows for more sophisticated control of multiple trains on a single track. Additionally, the availability of a wide range of model train accessories and detailing elements has contributed to the depth and authenticity of the hobby. Model trains appeal to people of all ages, and the community of enthusiasts continues to grow as new generations discover the joy of creating and operating miniature railways. Whether for the joy of building, the satisfaction of creating lifelike landscapes, or the pleasure of watching trains traverse meticulously crafted layouts, model trains offer a unique and enduring hobby experience. Now let's come to my story. 2018. We were constructing a new home and I decided to dedicate a room for my model trains. I started roaming in Bangalore to see if anyone can help me on this. 6 months went by and I realized there is no option for Indian models. Now the next option was to get foreign loco and coaches along with tracks, but I had little interest in foreign railways. Let me make it clear, this hobby is quite expensive. Being from a middle-class family, I had to save a lot before thinking of making any custom-made models. August 2018, I see a WAP5 model by an Indian on Facebook. I immediately contact him and we arrange a meet. He stays in Bangalore as well. The meet happened near Whitefield. He showed his models and promised me he can create what I want. I will call the person as Mr. X from now on. Before I talk about the model which I wanted first, let me tell the scale in which I wanted to do railways, as I had planned a big layout in mind while designing the room for my model railway. N scale. N scale ranges from 1:148 to 1:160. The distance between two rails is 9 mm. The first locomotive I wanted was a WP class steam locomotive and 3 coaches. WP was chosen as my father also likes the locomotive class and he has good memories with the locomotive. The person who was supposed to get the model offered me his used N-scale tracks, and the total cost of the project came to 40,000 rupees. I gave 10,000 as advance to him and the models were expected to be delivered by Dec End 2018. I had a difficult time for the next 1 year with no proper response and confusion each time I spoke with Mr. X. Mr. X moves out of Bangalore and we end up in bad terms due to failure of receiving the models. June 2019, I move to my new place. October 2019, I get first images of the model being completed, but the work for running of locomotive was not completed. I was also asked to buy couplers for the models and I get that as well by paying around 3,000. November 2019, Mr. X promises to meet at my new place with models. He comes and gives me the models, but the WP class locomotive is not in working conditions. He stays at my place trying his best to get the model moving, but no use. So we come to agreement and I settle him the money and order an extra coach. So the total amount comes to 40,000 in return of 1,000 for the couplers which I purchased. Only 8 were used and I had the rest of pieces. Hence 1,000 return. COVID stuck until this date. I don't have the model. I asked for money refund. Mr. X asked for one last chance and he promised me to give the same model and coaches in HO scale for the mistake on his part. Till date I have not received the model, and to be honest I have zero hopes on the same. I just have display model WP with no tender and 3 coaches with few track pieces. I spent 40,000 for the same. Tragic story of my first experience with model train ends here. Even though I lost money, my passion towards the hobby made me meet another person. Let us call him Mr. Y henceforth. They had a company name registered and their initial work looked promising. So I ordered my favorite diesel locomotive from them, YDM4. I was one of the first person to order a working model. December 2022, the model is ready and I decided to gift myself for my birthday. I travel to Hyderabad and get the model. It was a dream come true moment to run my first model. The locomotive cost me 12,000. The expense doesn't end here. I had to get the tracks. HOM scale is accurate for meter gauge and YDM4 is a meter gauge locomotive. The tracks are only available from abroad and I spent around 10k to get the tracks, which includes Indian custom duty as well. I have a separate vlog on getting the tracks and locomotive. We'll share it as a video in future. I used to run the locomotive daily and used to be stress buster for me. Unfortunately, the loco had some issues and it has returned back to its base shed for repair. Not sure when I will get to see it again. Unfortunately, I get to know the status of the model only when I ask about it and I don't get any updates from Mr. Y. I have spent 62,000 plus just for the miniature models till date. If I include the room cost, controller, travel expense and mental stress I have gone through, I can say I have lost much more. This is how my life has been throughout. Either I don't get what I love or if I get it, doesn't last long. I guess I can say I am used to disappointments in my life and I don't expect it to get any better. I will wait till December and if nothing moves forward, I will share the name of Mr. X so that no one else goes through what I had to go through. Making this video so that in case if any one of you watching the video wants to get into the hobby. Take your time and order only if you have full confidence. If you have any doubts on this hobby, comment down below, we'll clear it via a response video soon.